Welcome, everyone. We're jumping straight into a conversation today presented by our YouTube channel, Audio Podcast.
We're looking at that gap, the one between where you are now
Mm-hmm.
and where you sort of know deep down you could be.
Yeah.
Why do so many of us, people with talent, with smarts, why do we struggle so much to reach that potential? It feels like we have the plans, but just can't get started building.
It really is that central question, isn't it? What's holding us back?
Mm.
And looking into this, the answer that kept coming up was surprisingly clear, actually. It cuts through a lot of the noise. It's not really about talent or being super intelligent or even having the right opportunities fall into your lap.
So what is it then?
It boils down to discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, intentionally building a disciplined mind. Because if you don't, well, your mind and actions discipline you anyway, just keeping you stuck.
Right.
So our focus today is figuring out how to build that mental muscle, that grit that lets you show up consistently, especially on those days where it feels impossible. Yeah, the tough days. Okay, I think the first hurdle is probably the word discipline itself. It's got such negative vibes, doesn't it? Punishment or something joyless?
Absolutely. That's the big lie, the core misunderstanding we need to tackle first. People hear discipline and think rigid rules, no fun, just restriction.
Mm-hmm.
But the way we should think about it, it's actually quite simple, but really powerful. Discipline is just choosing. It's choosing between what you want right now, the easy thing, the comfort.
Yeah, the cookie.
Exactly. Versus what you want most, your bigger goals, your long-term freedom. That's the real definition.
Okay, so it's less about taking things away and more about aiming for a bigger prize later on. But that initial feeling, that resistance is strong. How do we frame it as self-love? That sounds almost counterintuitive.
Oh, because it's not actually restrictive in the long run. It's generative. It creates things. Real discipline. It's freedom. It's power. It's actually the ultimate act of self-love.
How so? Freedom from what?
Freedom from the stress that comes later when you don't do the thing. Freedom from anxiety about falling behind. Freedom from that awful regret looking back at wasted potential.
Ah, okay.
You're essentially freeing yourself from being a slave to your immediate impulses, your moods. You're giving your future self the gift of a better life, one your present self might be too tempted by comfort to build right now.
That brings us to something practical, though. This idea of the pain trade-off. We seem hardwired to avoid the immediate discomfort, right? Doing the hard task now. And we trade that short-term pain for like this long, drawn-out agony of regret later. Why does that trade always seem like a good deal in the moment?
Because the pain of doing the work is right now. It's immediate. The pain of regret, that's abstract. It's somewhere off in the future. It doesn't feel as real.
Yeah.
But there's a great way to think about the difference in weight. Discipline. That immediate discomfort, it weighs ounces. It's temporary. You do it. It's done. Regret, though, that weighs tons. It sticks with you, gets heavier over time, keeps you up at night. Choosing discipline now is basically choosing long-term peace of mind. It's like prepaying for calm.
Choosing peace in advance. I like that. Okay, so if discipline is the key to freedom and peace, why do we instinctively run towards comfort? Let's talk about that first big trap, the comfort zone.
The comfort zone. It feels so safe, doesn't it? But it's described as being like warm chains.
Warm chains. Wow.
Yeah. Feels cozy, familiar, but it keeps you completely stuck. It keeps you small. The thing is, we're actually built for growth, for challenge. That's how we evolved. But modern life makes it so easy to just settle.
Right. Predictability feels good.
It does, but settling into comfort means you're basically opting out of becoming who you could be. You stop stretching.
Okay, but let's be real. There's a difference between pushing yourself into growth and just like burning out or causing unnecessary suffering, right? How do you know when discomfort is productive versus just painful?
That's a really important question. And interestingly, the focus shifts away from analyzing the type of discomfort and more towards just taking action. People get stuck because they wait for certainty. They want a guarantee it'll work out before they step out of that comfort zone.
They want to feel ready first.
Exactly. But you don't feel ready and then act. You act, and that's what makes you ready. Courage isn't something you have. It's something you earn by moving forward even when you're scared. It's not about a giant leap. It's about finding the courage for the next 5 minutes.
So courage is a skill you build through doing. That ties into the next big myth, doesn't it? The myth of motivation. Waiting to feel inspired before you act.
Oh, motivation is such a liar. It's totally unreliable because it depends entirely on your mood, on how you feel right now.
Like waiting for perfect weather.
Precisely. You wouldn't rely on sunshine to power your house every day, right?
Yeah.
You need a reliable system. The people who consistently achieve things, they don't wait for inspiration. They have habits. They have systems. They just do the work.
So motivation might get you excited enough to buy the gym membership, but it's discipline that actually gets you to the gym, especially when it's raining.
That's it, exactly. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. And honestly, consistency beats talent every single time. Talent is great, sure, but it's unevenly distributed. Opportunities vary. But your commitment, your choice to be consistent, that's 100% in your control.
You don't need to be the most gifted, just the most persistent.
You just have to be the one who keeps showing up.
Okay, so if it's not talent, not motivation, it must come down to how we see ourselves, right?
Yeah.
This idea that our identity is maybe just a story we tell ourselves. Like, if I keep saying I'm a procrastinator, my actions just prove it right.
That drive for internal consistency is incredibly powerful. It's a deep psychological need. If your story is, I'm lazy, your brain will literally look for ways to act lazy to confirm that story. It wants the narrative to hold true.
So changing your results means changing the story first.
Yes. You don't find motivation, you rewrite the identity.
And how do you actually do that? There's this concept of voting.
Exactly. Think of every single action you take, no matter how small, as casting a vote for the kind of person you are or the kind of person you want to become.
Okay, give me an example.
All right. You hit the snooze button instead of getting up. That's a vote for a person who chooses comfort over commitment. You force yourself up, even for just 15 minutes, to tackle that hard task first. That's a vote for disciplined person. Change happens when the votes for the new identity start to outweigh the votes for the old one. You build evidence, proof for who you're becoming.
You literally act your way into a new identity.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you start building this new disciplined you, how do you protect it? The world throws a lot of distractions at us. This brings up saying no. Why is that so hard?
Oh, it's incredibly difficult. We're wired, or at least conditioned, to be agreeable, aren't we? We worry about disappointing people, causing conflict, not being liked.
Totally. People-pleasing is real.
But once you're clear on the identity you're building, say, focused writer or healthy person, you realize that every time you say yes to something, that pulls you away from that.
You're saying no to your goal.
You're casting a vote against your new identity. You're saying no to yourself.
Okay, but practically, saying no can have real consequences, right? In your career, with family. You can't just say no to everything. Is there a way to figure out when it's the right no, even if it's uncomfortable?
Absolutely. It's not about being difficult or shutting everyone out. It's about being deliberate. The key is clarity. What is your absolute top priority right now? What's the mission?
Okay.
Once you know that, any request or opportunity that doesn't align with that mission or actively detracts from it is a candidate for a no. It's not selfish. It's self-respect. It's protecting your most valuable resources, your time, your focus, your energy.
So the power of your yes actually comes from your willingness to say no to other things.
Precisely. If you say yes to everything, your yes means nothing. Saying no gives your yes focus and power.
That reframes boundaries completely. Okay, let's shift to the actual work. We often think success involves big, flashy moments, but the insight here is kind of the opposite. Boring creates mastery. Tell me about that.
Yeah, this really cuts against the grain of our modern, hype culture. We think breakthroughs are exciting and dramatic. But real greatness, true mastery, it's forged in the mundane. The quiet, repetitive stuff.
Like what?
Like the daily writing practice, even when you feel uninspired. The early morning workouts when you'd rather sleep. The extra reps. Refining that tiny detail one more time. Most people quit when the novelty wears off. When it stops being exciting and just becomes work.
And that connects to the dopamine trap, right? We get hooked on the quick hit of something new or easy.
Totally. Our brains are wired for instant gratification now more than ever. We seek novelty, excitement, quick wins. But mastery isn't quick. It's slow. It's deliberate. It's often repetitive.
Like building muscle memory.
Exactly. It's about practicing the fundamentals over and over until they become second nature. Deeply ingrained. If you're always chasing the next exciting thing, you'll always be stuck at an intermediate level. You have to choose excellence over excitement. Embrace the boring.
Embrace the boring. Okay, so commit to the consistent, sometimes boring work. What's the final piece for building that unshakable discipline? There's a strong emphasis on tracking, on measurement.
Yes. Track Everything, it sounds simple, maybe even tedious, but it's fundamental. Why? Because you simply cannot change what you are not aware of.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right. We operate on autopilot so much of the time, tracking whether it's your time, your spending, your workouts, your writing output. It forces awareness. It shines a light on where your energy is actually going. And awareness is the absolute bedrock of discipline. Without it, you're just guessing.
So it's about getting honest with yourself, seeing the reality instead of the story you tell yourself about how you spend your time.
Precisely. It gives you crystal clear data. You suddenly see the patterns. You see the time wasted on scrolling, the unnecessary breaks, whatever it is. And that clarity allows you to consciously eliminate those things that don't serve your goals.
And it connects back to the identity thing too, doesn't it? Seeing the proof.
Yes. Crucially, tracking provides the evidence for that new identity we talked about. Seeing those check marks pile up, seeing the small wins compound day after day, even the boring wins that builds real earned confidence. Not just hype or wishful thinking. It's proof you're becoming the person you set out to be. What gets measured gets managed and ultimately gets mastered.
Wow. Okay, that really ties it all together. So just to kind of wrap up the core ideas here, discipline isn't punishment. It's actually the key to your own freedom. Real growth means stepping into discomfort, not waiting until you feel brave. And mastering yourself comes down to intentional choices. Voting for your identity with your actions, protecting your focus by saying no, and maybe hardest of all, embracing the consistent, sometimes boring work.
That's a great summary.
And maybe a final thought for everyone listening to chew on. Remember, you aren't your thoughts. You might have critical thoughts, lazy thoughts, fearful thoughts. But you are the one who gets to decide which thoughts you act on. You're the master, not the servant, of your mind.
Absolutely. And the life you truly want, it's not going to happen by accident or luck. It's built. It's built by the choices you make, starting right now, one disciplined action after another. The power really is in your hands to begin.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you, everyone, for tuning into this conversation. If you want more discussions like this, exploring ideas to help you reach your potential, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Audio Podcast. We appreciate you listening.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll catch you on the next one.